After 2 years of you all asking for it to happen, I have finally opened an opportunity for you guys to send me your gameplay, submit it for review, and me give you the best tips that I can possibly give. That way you can become a better player. If you'd like an opportunity to submit your gameplay to be reviewed, make sure to go to my Discord, discord.gg, and follow the instructions on there to submit your gameplay. That way I can check it out. If you enjoy the video, you learned something, I greatly appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. We are working our way to 350,000 subscribers. Dive in. Okie dokie. So we are going to be watching Weggles. He is a user in the Discord and he has submitted 3 gameplays to me. So eventually we'll probably get to all of them, depending on what they are and whether or not, you know, they work for YouTube and stuff like that. But off rip, we see he's landed at Airfield. Now, I have seen a little bit into this because my recording died at like 2 minutes. So I know a couple of things that we're going to discuss right now that's going to be helpful. So while he's playing, he's going to grab in just a second an Armageddon. And the reason that is kind of important is because whenever you're playing in a, you know, a Caldera match, you're really going to want to stick with weapons that are more accurate rather than a faster fire rate. The reason why is the likelihood of you pushing into, right there, he grabs it, into an enemy that close up is going to be slim. It's going to be few and far between. But the best bet is go ahead and get your loot, stuff like that, all the way up until the loadout comes in. Now, for me personally, I tried to go ahead and land in the circle, maybe at the edge of the circle or something like that, but I make sure that I am in the circle on first drop. The reason being is that loadout will always come in to the inside of the circle. So you want to make sure you're getting that as soon as physically possible. That way you can start being a bit more aggressive and start going for eliminations. That way you stay warm for the entire match. It's a big deal. Staying warm for the entire match is really what's going to make a difference. Right here, he popped the UAV that he grabbed just a minute ago. And I think it's important to talk about whether or not he should have popped that UAV. In my personal opinion, knowing that he's outside the circle, nah, you don't really need it. If I'm him, I'm holding on to that UAV. He's got $7,000, but I'm holding on to that UAV until I get close to the loadout. Because if you didn't know, while you're flying, you can actually let go of your chute, pop the UAV, and pull your parachute back out. So that's going to let you know whenever someone's close by. By the time that he goes to get his loadout, nice little gulag entry right there, which he can't grab, sadly. But by the time he gets his loadout, or gets to his loadout, it's already going to be gone. And right there, you can see that it's been gone for like, you know, like 10 seconds. So UAV, utterly useless in that scenario. And he's taking way too long looting. Once your loadout's already in the match, you need to just go get it. You know, you need to just go ahead and get it and make sure that you are being as fast as possible. And on top of that, because it's going to be much harder to get $10,000, especially in solos like this scenario. It's going to be much harder to get that $10,000 than it is to, and again, he's using a heartbeat sensor and he's checking the building, but he's not thinking about whether or not there was a person on the UAV. And you kind of have to keep all this information in your head. But either way, on the topic of keeping information in your head, I will say a lot of the plays that I make, people think that how do I put this? People think that I should know whether or not someone is coming into the room because, you know, like I'm playing Rebirth. And one thing in Rebirth a lot of people miss is that on the minimap, if you eliminate one person, their teammates pop up on the map so you can pre-aim where they're coming in and be prepared to eliminate them. But in this, obviously that doesn't happen. However, I do have a really good headset, a really good amp, and it allows me to hear the enemies in the game. Now, audio is not perfect. You're going to hear me fuss about audio deaths a lot in this match. And again, I'm going to say it. Our boy Weggles is struggling here because he's spending way too long looting. Listen, looting should take 60 seconds. Looting should take a total of 60 seconds. We're already 4 minutes in, 3 minutes in, something like that. And he's been looting that whole time. But either way, I would highly recommend, if you have the ability, work on getting a good headset because that's going to make a huge difference when you're playing Caldera. Yes, there's going to be times where you get those no audio deaths, but it's still going to be much better than what it would be without it. Now, I will say he's at 1 minute and 44 seconds left, and he's kind of like way too far out from this circle, and he's spending a lot of time outside of the circle. So he's going to be pushing in with the circle, which means someone is going to be looking his direction if I had to take a guess. Sadly, again, I can't see the circle. I can't see exactly where it's at, but he should have been checking the circle over and over, to be quite honest. This man is spending way too long to loot. 60 seconds. I promise you. Let's talk about looting real quick. When you hop into a game, the first thing you do is you grab a gun. Okay? You don't have to land somewhere hot, but you grab a gun. You grab a couple $1,000s, enough to get a UAV. And if you're playing with some teammates, you can definitely get enough money to get yourself a loadout. But I would recommend you just go ahead and start going for some eliminations, okay? Especially off rip, because that's going to get you warmed up. Worst comes worst, you die. Oh no, I died 2 minutes into the game. I'm just going to reset, hop into the next game, right? But if you die 14 minutes into the game and the whole time all you've been doing is looting, that's a big problem. You're not going to ever get warmed up. You're going to have to go play multiplayer to get your hands warm again. Your aim is going to suck because you haven't shot a single person. And right here, needs to get his cover. He's gotten pretty lucky here. He might get this kill. He needs to plate up. Luckily, he's got tempered, but yeah, he's dead. No, okay. Once again, exactly what I said, baby. Exactly what I said. This man is way too far at the edge. He called in a loadout, spent too long getting the loadout. That guy was clueless. You know, he pops the loadout late. Luckily, his loadout's sitting at the edge of the map, but he's got to know that there's going to be a guy waiting for him to get that loadout as well, right? If he's not, he's probably already moved on or he died to the storm because they were both taking way too long. And because he was taking too long, some guy was waiting for him. And listen, that's going to happen pretty much every single time. So my recommendation, land inside the circle. It doesn't have to be smack dab in the middle because that might not be a great idea either, but go ahead and get moving, get grooving, having yourself a good time and start, you know, feeling good, because if you are not pushing gunfights, you are not going to get better. And I'm not saying that the whole game you have to push gunfights, but if you just want to take the first, let's say 8 minutes of a match, right? You just push every gunfight that you can. You don't push it in a dumb way, but you put yourself in a position to get some shots on the enemy and things like that. It's going to make a huge difference in your gameplay. And rest assured, I promise this is like a money back guarantee. You didn't pay anything and I don't have to give you any money back. If you do not become a better player just by doing that, listen, money back. All right. I'll give you all your time back somehow. I don't know. We'll figure it out, but you will become a better player by doing that. Just take the first 8 minutes of every game. Start pushing gunfights. If you feel like you need to, hop in a multiplayer, hop in a plunder, whatever it is to get your hands warm. There's a lot of softwares if you're on PC that you can use to work on aim training. No, I'm not talking about cheating software because everyone for some reason thinks that all streamers cheat, which is, I get it, but maybe they're just better. Anyway, let's just keep moving here. Waggles, brother, let's talk about it again. This guy is rocking a PPSH. First, stop using PPSH. Not a play. The guy that shot at him is now getting shot in the back. So he knows that he has an opportunity to push up. If you get shot, the first thing you do after you get cover is look on the minimap as to where they're at. Luckily, he said, he should not have taken that shot. Luckily, he got the kill, but that is a bad shot to take. If that guy wasn't completely broken, almost dead, he loses that kill. Absolutely. And that guy is going to want to get revenge on him for shooting at him, and he's going to go for the kill. That's okay thermite. I think being able to aim a little bit better with your thermites is going to serve you well. I might start bringing back thermites and start talking about them because they make a big difference in gameplay. I usually use thermite or throwing knives just to end things. All right, I'm going to pause it. Okay, we need to talk about this one thing right here, which is trigger discipline. Everyone messes this up. I mess it up sometimes. I'm serious. Most players mess it up. You shoot when you shouldn't be shooting. Someone that I know that has great trigger discipline is Drakota, okay? He has a record on Verdansk where he dropped like 40 kills or something. It was some ridiculous number. And I remember throughout that whole thing, he didn't shoot at anyone that he didn't know he could get the elimination on. And that is something you need to start doing in your gameplays. If you don't think you can get the elimination, don't shoot. It's not worth it. Don't just like pop a couple of shots and hope that you damage them, because unless you're in a situation at the end of the game, it's not worth it. But he should add trigger discipline. He should not have shot right there. He's going to be able to get over here. And luckily that guy literally didn't shoot back, like at all. Didn't shoot back at all because he did have high ground. Okay. Heartbeat sensor comes in clutch right here. And he's fighting an uphill battle, quite literally. Fighting an uphill battle because he has been so late. There's a minute and a half to get in. Circle's closing in. The guy's on his heartbeat sensor. He's using the heartbeat sensor way too often. This is something we've been talking about a lot. I got the hiccups. I just ate. I'm sorry. This is something we've been talking about a lot as of late, and that's going to be overusing your heartbeat sensor. You need to either, if you have to switch from the heartbeat sensor to something else, that's going to be much better. Obviously, he did have the guy on the heartbeat sensor, but don't just pop it out, pop it out, pop it out, pop it out. Pop it out, figure out where they're at, reposition. Then pop it out again. Pop it out, figure it out where they're at, reposition. Do that over and over and over. It's going to change the way that you play the game altogether, because instead of using that little baby monitor, as I like to call it, to decide how you're going to take on gunfights, you position yourself to a better place to take on those gunfights. So Weggles here, he's going to be looting, which is, real quick, let's talk about this. He's got 7 plates, a durable gas mask, $5,800. There's a buy station next to him, but he's already holding a precision. He's got a heartbeat sensor. There is no goddamn reason for you to be looting, sir. Stop it. Stop looting. It's middle of the game. Leave it be. Just keep going in. You got to get in. When you're playing this edge circle so late, you need to get in the circle. This is, again, like, this man has not popped open his big mini map. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, he's not looking into his mini map as to where he needs to be, right? I think if we go back here, let me see if I can get back to it. So right here, when you look at his mini map, look at what he's got here, right? He can go over this direction. The circle's closing in on him. He can go over this direction. He can go up to mines. He can go down to village, but he's not thinking about where he's going next. He's literally just looking at the mini map. And that's a massive problem. When you look at your mini map, you have to be. It's not like you are. You have to be consciously thinking about what your next position is. It is always move to the next thing, move to the next thing, move to the next thing. You can't stop for a second when you're playing this game. You can't stop thinking for a second when you're playing this game. Obviously, he thinks he's got some idea of where he wants to go, and it's not a bad idea to keep high ground here, right? But knowing that mines is also coming in over here, there's a high likelihood that he's going to run into some people. So he's got to keep that in mind while he's going. It seems like to me, and this is obviously, like, nothing that I'm saying should be offensive to anybody. This is all about making people better. But it seems like you're playing scared. And that is a big problem. And that's what I'm saying about, like, looting and stuff like that. See, now he's starting to figure it out. You should be able to do that on the move. Also, if you're on mouse and keyboard, you do have the ability to turn on auto run. I set mine to C on my keyboard. It's completely up to you, whatever you want to put it to, but I would highly recommend turning on auto run. I think you can do the same on controller. I'll let you guys know when I switch to it, coming soon. But you can turn on auto run, and then you can run and drop plates or run and do things on your mini map and stuff like that all the time. People always think, oh, you're not even playing because your hands aren't touching the keyboard. You're scratching your face. No, I press one button. I press one button on my keyboard and I just auto sprint. It's in the settings on Warzone. You'll have to check it out and let me know what you think. But again, what ends up happening here is that he's been playing scared for so long because he spent so long looting. And don't get me wrong, I get nervous at the end of games too. But as he's moving in here, he's way too cautious. And don't get me wrong at all here. You should be cautious, but you should not be way too cautious. This guy just landed in on his left-hand side there. I don't know if he saw it. But if you're playing too cautious, it's not really going to work out for you. You need to get in because, look, yet again, he's stuck at the edge of the circle. He might end up getting an elimination here, but he's going to get caught in just a minute by someone else, I'm sure. Like, it's just so likely now. So what you want to do is just hop in. Like I said, those first 8 minutes, you get warmed up, you start feeling good. And then when you start playing a little further, you're not going to be as nervous. The more you do this, the more repetitions you get of getting in, getting at least a few eliminations, or getting in and dying and just getting over the fact that it's going to happen, you'll end up winning more games. You'll end up getting higher placements. You'll end up getting more eliminations. I promise you. I promise you. It's such a big difference. A lot of people do look at things like Iceman Isaac's pinwheel rotation, and they think, okay, well, he says that I need to kind of like rotate the edge of the circle and stuff like that. But really what he was saying, the pinwheel rotation was less about wins and more about kills. At least it is now. And the reason why is because when you're pinwheel rotating, you end up running into more people because you're covering more ground. Now, right here, he's not even doing the pinwheel rotation correctly. He's basically just going straight in and getting to the edge of the map where no one can shoot at his back, which is not a bad play. Don't get me wrong. But the reality of the situation is it just doesn't really matter. He's looking too much. And I think he's playing in 1440p here, or the video's at least in 1440p. But I'm telling you, man, like, if you can get a better monitor, especially if you're on PC, I know, everybody on PlayStation and console and stuff like that, I realize you can't get a better monitor. You can get 4K, but I don't think you can play at 4K 120. If you have the ability to get a better monitor to see things a little bit better, it's going to be much, much better for you. Because I play on a 4K monitor at 120 FPS and stuff like that, and I'm able to see every little detail, you know? Obviously, you're not going to see that when you're on console. Things are at low quality and things of that nature. But just, you know, you should be scanning the screen at all times. I'd love to do another eye tracker video, but people tend to get like sick, like not like angry, but like literally sick after watching my eye tracker video. So I kind of stopped doing that. I still have the eye tracker. I just don't do it anymore because people got physically sick and it gave them headaches and stuff like that. It seemed like the average watch time on a 30-minute video when I did that was 3 minutes because people clicked off so fast. From that. Now, he did just... Okay, he's ran into a guy in this building. He's got his cover, but again, he's stuck at the edge of the circle. He's got to move in. There's a guy in front of him. It's not good. You got to stop doing this, man. He might get lucky here. He backed up to reload after he shot 4 bullets. Not the wave. You can see the guy in there. Shoot him through the wall. You've got combat scout. You've got combat scout, so just start popping shots. You'll land something at some point, and then you'll be able to shoot the guy through the wall, especially if you're running combat scout. So if there is if you've got combat scout, just shoot at any wall, literally any wall. In most cases, if you know someone's there, try and shoot through the wall. And again, here he goes. He's stuck at the edge of the circle. He's going to start pushing in. I guarantee sometime soon, he's going to get killed because he's sitting at the edge of the circle, and that's going to be his demise. That is going to literally end the video for us because that's how he's going to die, is because he spent too long at the edge of the circle. He was too scared to push in. He looted too long. He wasn't warmed up. He didn't know how to take these gunfights because he didn't learn enough from pushing. I'm not saying you have to be a cookie cutter streamer, like going hard in the paint and stuff like that, but those first 8 minutes will change the way that you play the game. So he's got a durable gas mask here. If he really wants to, he can play it a little bit slower and run the left-hand side here. He should not be really using the building. He needs to get down below. He keeps going to the building. He's going way too slow here. It's actually a little frustrating seeing this happen because I guarantee every single gameplay that he has is probably just like this, where he's rotating the edge so late that, you know, we end up in a situation where someone's looking back at him. He gets stuck behind a tree. He's not able to get his cover. He lays down. Right, okay, in a situation like this, do not lay down. Do not lay down. Let's talk about this. If you're behind a tree, there's no big rock covering like a wide area rather than a narrow area. Crouch. Crouch or stand up. If you crouch, your butt's going to stick out. But stand up if you can. Stand as close to the tree at an angle from where that person is shooting and then plate up. Stop laying down. They will shoot your toes. Stop it. It happened to me for so long that I had to make that thought process change. I don't know if he's going to get shot in the toes. He starts pushing in. Yeah, okay. And there it is. And that's how he dies. So exactly what I said was going to happen. And if you want to submit a gameplay for me to review, hopefully I can give you some tips just like we gave Weggles. Go to the Discord, discord.gg/expel. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more.